My name is Rachel Maldonado. My website is rhmaldonado.com. And I am with Ron Fitzsimmons, the founder and executive director of Alice's Kids. How are you?
I'm good, Rachel. Thanks for having me.
Yes, so I love Alice's Kids. Can you tell me about this?
Well, there are lots of many great charities around the country that do a lot of great things, and most of them focus on the macro issues like providing food and housing and medical assistance. Alice's Kids is a little different. We drill down to the needs of the kids, the specific kids who are living in poverty. So, for example, we pay for things like prom tickets, field trips, new summer clothes, summer camps, violin rentals, things that cost between $50 and $100. We've been called the petty cash drawer of charities across the country. So we have a niche for ourselves that we started about 11 years ago.
Wow. And then how do you find out about the kids?
We have a network of several thousand teachers and social workers across the country who are aware of us. And when they identify a child with a specific need, so they hear a kid needs soccer cleats to join the soccer team, or the kid can't afford the field trip, or they see holes in a kid's shoes, they contact us by email and they send us our request form, which is a very simple form, and it says what kid needs. They don't identify the child, how old the kid is, what school the kid is at, and we respond by sending either a check to the appropriate entity or a gift card to the teacher for the amount that they requested, and then they pass on the gift card to the parent or guardian, and then they get the item.
Wow. So you empower the parents.
Yeah, we do. From the beginning, my sister and I, when we founded this, we wanted to remain anonymous as a charity. When we were on welfare for a number of years, we used to have charities come to our doorstep and hand us clothes and food and stuff. And honestly, it was quite embarrassing, although well-intentioned. So we decided we wanted to be in the shadows. And so when we send a gift card, let's say, for $100 to Dick's Sporting Goods for soccer cleats, that teacher sends it to the parent or guardian, who can then turn around to their child and say, hey, we're going to Dick's Sporting Goods this weekend to get those soccer cleats. The kid has no idea that there's an Alice's Kids involved. And the parent, who's probably struggling as it is, has a chance to shine. So it's a win-win situation.
You're taking the shame out of the need and allowing the kid to have this amazing memory and the parent to feel good about themselves when they already feel really terrible. I think that that is amazing.
Yeah, you're right. You know, there is a stigma when it comes to charity. When we were on welfare for about 3 or 4 years in a middle class town on Long Island, we would go to school and we were ashamed because we were wearing the same shirt every day, or my soles were flapping as I walked down the hall, or I had to sit in the bleachers because I couldn't afford a gym uniform. That was extremely embarrassing, and we would get made fun of. And one year I missed 67 days of school because I did not want to go and get harassed. So there's a great shame to being in that situation, to being at the poverty level. And so, yeah, we came up with this model which eliminates the charity, basically. And the kid just thinks mom has gotten some money, or dad, and they're going to Dick's Sporting Goods.
I love it. And you know, you have this personal understanding, and that is why you structure Alice's Kids in this way. And when you guys were kids, you know, how was that going to school and not having the things that you need?
It was pretty bad. I mean, I'm not talking Angela's ashes here, but when we got the welfare check, it was gone halfway through the month. So we struggled. Um, but every once in a while, my mother, Alice, would go out and iron clothes or clean a house, and she'd pick up a few extra dollars and she'd come running home and she'd announce proudly that we were going to go to EJ Corvettes or Abraham and Strauss and get that new sweater or the latest Beatle record, little things like that
Yeah.
that, are not totally important in the grand scheme of things. It's not life and death. But for a kid who's 12 years old, sometimes the new Beatle record was life and death. Um, and so that's why we came up with this model, which models exactly what Mom did with us. She'd lift us up. And with my new Converse sneakers, the next day I'd go running to the bus stop and couldn't wait, for kids to see my new Converse sneakers. Might sound a little materialistic, but again, very important stuff to a child who's in that situation.
I like it because whether you're a kid or an adult, it is that little bit of hope. You feel like you're like everybody else. And especially for the kids, they just want to be accepted and like everybody else, and they don't want to look different. And, for your family, could you see the difference from the times when you felt like you were not like the other kids versus the times that you felt, oh, I have the things that make me fit in?
Oh yeah, you know how you are as a kid, your emotions go up and down every day, every hour. And so yeah, it really made me feel better about myself when I went into school with a new shirt. Sounds simple, but it's important. We like to say a little help goes a long way. And all you need to do sometimes is just lift the kid a little bit. And who knows where that goes. I know in my case and my sister's case, it did lift us a lot. We felt a lot better about ourselves. And ultimately, we broke out of the cycle of poverty. And honestly, we became rather successful in our professions.
Do you have any memorable moments with kids that just meant a lot to you when you were doing this with Alice's kids?
Every day, I get several requests that bring me to tears. So it's hard to, go down to one request. But yeah, the one that has always struck me was a kid. We got an email from a social worker who said a 11-year-old boy's parents had been killed in a car accident. And the funeral was in a few days, and the family was poverty stricken. The kid didn't have proper clothes. He just walked around with tattered shorts and t-shirts. And so the social worker asked if we could give her a gift card to buy funeral clothes for the child. Uh, that one it's almost even hard for me to talk about that one, as you can imagine. But so we helped the kid feel, good, if you can feel good in that certain situation, that he was there all spiffed up in a suit. They sent me a picture, but they slurred out the kid's face, but the kid was just there in his new suit. That was really heartbreaking. But again, every day we are getting requests like that from all over the country, hundreds and thousands of requests like that.
I agree. That moment, the funeral, there are already so many emotions, and it is already so incredibly sad. And yet, for you to be able to go to the funeral as a kid and pay your respects and feel like you are respectable, you have this suit, it's just that memory that is being able to say goodbye the way that you want for that child for the rest of their life. That closure, that feel good for that piece. Yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing, Rachel, is that what this kid didn't want to show off.
Hmm.
Like all these other kids who need a pair of shoes or a suit for an interview, they just want to blend.
Yeah.
They're not looking to walk into school, with their chest puffed and saying, "Look at my shoes."
Yeah.
So they don't want to stick out. And that's easy to do for a lot of these kids, particularly nowadays where kids from low-income neighborhoods are being bused into schools and neighborhoods that are mixed with kids in higher income neighborhoods, which is, good sociologically in the broader picture, but it exacts a lot of pressure on the kids who are getting off the bus from the lower income areas when they go in and they see the kids from the other areas. So again, these kids just want to blend. They're not looking for bragging rights.
Yeah, absolutely. They just want a piece of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
do you have any other memories that strike you?
Well, again, there's the kid out in Iowa whose mother was killed in gang violence, and he got very depressed, of course, and but turned around and decided to lose weight. And we got a request from his teacher saying, asking if we could pay for 3 months of a gym membership so he can continue losing weight. And so that was pretty cool. We did that. We funded it, and then an actress named Jo Newman saw our tweet about that case, and she contacted us and said she wanted to get the kid a Fitbit, and which she did, and all through the teacher. And the kid lost something like 40 pounds in a few months. And Joe sent this kid through the teacher her autograph picture, and he was thrilled. And I hear he's doing very well. Again, I don't talk to the kids, but the teachers often report back to us about what's going on.
Yeah. I love it because the way that life works, it is so cyclical. And you have a kid who needs something, and then you are able to help with that need. And it's this just amazing karma that you help the kid, but you feel amazing about yourself. I love that story. It just kind of showcases how happy it made everyone involved.
Yeah, it really did. And every day I feel like Santa Claus,
Yes,
just distributing these gift cards and all. It feels so good. When you read the stories, it's depressing, let's face it. But to be able to turn around literally within an hour or two and have a gift
right.
card flying to the teacher, that's pretty cool. And this is the most rewarding work I've ever done.
Yeah. It is in real time and a real difference. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And I have one last question for you. What makes you feel alive?
My boys and my wife, um, uh, every day, my boys are spread across the country and they're very successful young men, so I'm proud of them. And, but I've been lucky, as has my sister, to have broken out, like I said earlier, of that cycle of poverty. It's easy to go down. It's really easy to stay there. And I'm not saying I'm any stronger than anyone else, but we got lucky. And so I was able to break out of that and have a successful career or two, maybe three. And I will say, when I wake up in the morning now, the first thing I think of is Alice's kids and what's my tweet of the day.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, and I just rush to my computer and put something up there. As you know, since you watch us on Twitter, and our Twitter handle is Alice Will Help. And we have close to 10,000 followers on Twitter. But Yeah, Alice's kids and my family, and an occasional round of golf.
Yes, golf. I love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing about Alice's kids. It is incredible. And I like that you're named after your mom, Alice. You have that personal connection. You have been there with your sister when you were children. And now you have your family that you involve in your business, and you do so much good in the world. It is incredible. And I thank you for this.
Thank you, Rich. Thanks. And I appreciate your support as well.
Yeah.